And that's when I shoved him into the trunk. Wait, we're live? Farty, why didn't you tell me we're live, Farty?
I must have bumped the button. Whoopsie.
Oh, god damn it. Alright, well, you know what? It's out there. Fuck it. And I just screwed up. I couldn't even wait 5 minutes, could I, Farty?
Well, I was going to say, it was going to be a bit difficult for me not to swear, considering, part of my mental health. It's awfully difficult for me not to swear. That's what usually shits me when people fucking, like, I let one slip and then like people carry on as if, like, or they're waiting for me to fucking swear, and you see them starting to get anxious and the hands come up and the fingers almost about to do the motion, and they're like, what? Oh, you're about to swear. No, I fucking wasn't, but now you fucking said so. I'm going to fucking swear like a fucking trooper now, you fucking dopey cunt.
Yeah, it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecy doodads. Sign into chat? What do you mean sign into chat? I should already be signed into chat on... Ooh. Okay. Shit. I forgot. I forgot.
From computer companies that fucking watch these kinds of things, and they throw these little curveballs at us and watch us fucking freak out on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the right password. Nope. I forgot the password. Oh well. I guess I have to bring up the chat on the website. Yeah, so we're only streaming on YouTube this week. I'm really not in the mood to fight with... I guess I have to... what's it called anymore? I'm not really in the mood to fight with getting Kick going and all that other stuff. I just don't care. So, Farty, I went and saw Beetlejuice this last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. It's legitimately terrible.
So someone got shot, so I'm gathering they didn't bring Alec Baldwin back.
Alec Baldwin wasn't in the first one.
Yeah, he was.
Hang on.
Yeah, he was Gina Davis's fucking husband. I was actually only just watching your reaction to the original one.
Oh, yeah. He was one of the Maitlands. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, it's crazy. Like, I just don't remember, like, the most of the characters in the first movie. But yeah, I saw the new one, and I kind of want to talk about it. I kind of want to get it off my chest because, and I don't want people to think I just hate shit for the sake of hating shit, right? Like, I look at a movie and I go into it as objectively as possible, and I just want to get that out of the way. I don't hate shit. Did I enjoy Beetlejuice? No, I thought it was boring. I thought it was lame. And I'm going to go through the entirety of what I remember from the movie. I just saw it on Sunday. So I'm going to go through the entirety of what I remember. If you have any questions, if you have seen it or not, feel free to chime in. If you didn't see it, feel free to ask me questions when, as I go through this. So the movie opens where Lydia, as we all know, is like the main character, one of the main characters from the first movie. It was Lydia and the Dietzes as being the main character in the first movie. And now that I remember the first movie, the cast was kind of large, right? The cast was kind of large in the first movie, but it was still a decently told story. They kind of like didn't have any unnecessary baggage in it. So we go into this movie, and we're seeing Lydia. She is now like called the Ghost Lady or some shit, and she is doing this like television show about like haunted houses and everything, and I think the name of the show is called Ghost House, and it's like such an original name, right? And she's doing this TV show, and during the TV show, she sees flashes of Beetlejuice in the audience. And she's like, what the fuck's going on here? And then she just fucking splits from the taping of the show. And she goes into the bathroom, and she starts taking these pills to like calm her down. There's a ghost in the bathroom, and Lydia's all like, hey, do you mind fucking off? Because I'm having a really shitty day. And the ghost turns around. She's got this knife sticking out of her face. And I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, they don't really explain that she's talking to ghosts. Like, they kind of set it up, but they don't really explain it. And it's done in, like, a really just dumb fucking way. So, she's talking to this lady. The lady's in the bathroom. She's complaining about her boyfriend, talking about, oh, my boyfriend did this again. Lydia's like, shut the fuck up. I'm having a shitty day. And the lady turns around. She's got a knife sticking out of her face. And then disappears like 10 seconds later when Lydia's boyfriend / producer or whatever like barges into the women's restroom and like tries to force her not to take the medication she's using to keep her fucking level, to the point where he like dumps it out of the garbage, then drags the medication back out of the garbage to give to her. Like, dude, what the fuck? So already he's showing like he's just this manipulative piece of shit from the start of the movie. The very next scene, because Lydia gets a call from her mom, right? In the very next scene, she gets like we see her mother. We see fucking what's her name? The mother, Lydia's mother, doing this art exhibit in like Manhattan or some shit, and she's like, Lydia's coming by. She's like, what's going on with Dad? Blah blah blah. You told me this was about Dad. What's going on? And her mom is all like, well, your dad left me. And she's like, oh, you're getting divorced? No, he died. What the fuck, dude? And then she explains that
They couldn't really bring him back.
Huh?
They couldn't really bring him back because he was the pedophile from fucking Ferris Bueller.
Yes, he was the pedophile. That's why they didn't bring him back. Sorry, refueling for this next bit of storytelling here. So she explains how her dad died. There was a plane crash, and he crashed into the ocean. Oh no, he died from the plane crash. No, he survived, and then he started swimming, and then a shark ate him. Just went, and she does that, right? She does the little chompy action with her arms. The shark just jumped out of the water and bit his head off. And I'm just like, okay. And they show you everything going on, and they stop the movie to do this little claymation voiceover thing where you have a claymation like representation of Charles, and it looks it fucking the clay artist, whatever, I think it was Tim Burton who sculpted it. The sculptor like sculpted the head really fucking well, and it looked like Charles, and it looked like Charles from the first movie, and not the fat piece of shit that we know now, right? Speaking of fat pieces of shit, right? A pot calling the kettle black here. So he's dead, and then we get a scene where we come back to the museum or whatever, the art exhibit that she's putting on. And the artist that she hired as a street artist to do to participate in doing like some sort of graffiti thing is getting fucking pissy because the show got canceled because she's planning her husband's funeral. And then And you're gonna love this party. He goes off and fucking dies. He falls down a manhole that someone left fucking open without any fucking, you know, like barrier or notification that hey dickhead, the manhole is open, and he fucking falls right down in it and dies. And then we get a scene of him in the afterlife where he's walking down that fucking twisty corridor from the first movie. And, like, instantly, he's talking to Danny DeVito, right? So Danny DeVito's character is down there. He's a janitor. And he's like, you gotta go to the waiting room. It's, go this way. And then, the French guy fucks off. And Danny DeVito's character, and this is exactly what happens in the movie. Danny DeVito's character just fucks off and goes like into a storage closet and drinks like some liquid Tide or some shit. I don't know what it is, but he like drinks it right out of the bottle. He's like, he's a zombie, whatever. Who cares? Huh?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay. I'm just hearing myself again. That's fine. So he's doing whatever, and then we follow him to fucking this big storage room, like Raiders of the Lost Ark style, where he's like buffing the floor, and something happens. There's like this electrical discharge, and it goes all over the place. Everything gets zapped by lightning, and it wakes up this lady who's been chopped up apparently and put into like a shit ton of different boxes, and she like stitches herself back together. And I'm shitting you not when I say that there is a what the fuck's it called, an Easter egg right then and there for The Nightmare Before Christmas. And so this movie is already reminding you of other shit Tim Burton's done. Because the way the lady puts herself back together, and I'm not kidding when I say this, she puts herself back together and she uses a staple gun to do it. And the pattern of staples and scars that are left as a result of it are the same patterns from that. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to show you. I'm gonna show you because you're not gonna believe me if I just tell you. But they're like the same patterns from Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like you don't get the full like lip, the full smile, but you get everything else. And it's fucking, I can't find it. I'm probably not looking right because I'm just in a really shitty headspace, but it's like an Easter egg to Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'm like, oh god, this is bullshit.
That's one of those ones you're watching it and being reminded of movies you'd rather be watching.
Yeah, exactly. And then she like walks up to after she puts herself together, she walks up to Danny DeVito's character, and she's all like, "Where's Beetlejuice?" He's a fucking janitor. How should he know where Beetlejuice is? So she just sucks out the dude, like she just sucks out the dude's soul, right? Because apparently, they have a physical body in the afterlife, and she just wow, here's your soul. I'm gonna eat it, and they call her a soul sucker the entire fucking time. Apparently she's Beetlejuice like ex-wife or something.
Well, it could be worse. They call Kamala Harris another sucker of a different kind.
Yeah. That's another story for another time. Alright, so what happens next? What happens next is she's like, where's Beetlejuice? We cut from him to seeing Beetlejuice working an office job now. He's like in control of like some call center. It's like Afterlife call center or some shit is like the placard that's on his desk. And like he's got a picture of himself and he's got a picture of Lydia, the two people he loves the most. And he's sitting there talking about, I miss Lydia, blah, 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 blah. Um, and then we're introduced after this. Well, after we're in, after this scene, we're introduced to another character. I'll get into that in a second. But there was like another piece of information that I forgot until just now. Um, he's talking about how much he misses Lydia, and then he talks about how he's been like trying to communicate with her from beyond and trying to manipulate her into like remembering him and seeing him and shit. And he goes, "Ooh, I think this last time worked." And that's a callback to like two scenes previous the where she sees Beetlejuice in the audience, right? So it's like, uh, fun, great. Um, I'm trying to catch my breath here. There's a lot about this movie that's just constantly reminding you of other shit. From just go watch the original Beetlejuice is gonna be the takeaway here, huh?
Nothing.
Oh,
I was thinking, fucking. I'm waiting for the real life references and stuff like that. Like they had Winona Ryder on medication. Just wondering whether they're going to cut to that part where they're like she's accepting that award with those other group of fucking actors, and she's just standing there, and her eyes are going
oh,
all
with
sorts of
the
fucking
from the Stranger
shit.
Things, yeah. I I don't know.
And
Um,
then like make reference to a fucking stealing shit. I don't know.
um, yeah. So the next scene we get is we're introduced to we're in the car with Lydia and I don't or whatever her fucking mom's name is. I just don't care. Uh, is it? It's not Gina Davis character. It's fucking what's her name? Anyway,
Yeah, the mum from fucking Home Alone.
yeah. The Home Alone mom. There you go.
Mum.
Huh?
Call her Kevin's mum.
Yeah, Kevin's mom. So she's in the car. These two are in the car, and Lydia's producer boyfriend, whatever, is in the back seat, and he keeps talking about, well, this is a traumatic event for me too. It reminds me of my own dad's death, which, happened when I was, a kid, but mentally I'm still a kid, so I'm still suffering from it. And then they talk about this girl named Astrid. Who the fuck is Astrid? Oh, okay. Well, apparently it's Lydia's daughter, and she's going to school there to get away from her mom. And just like any typical teenager, she doesn't want anything to do with her mom. She just wants to fucking live her own life and shit, right? Um. So that was really really great world building there. Bravo, Tim Burton. But fucking, they get to the school she's at, which was named after her grandmother, fucking Kevin's mom. That's such an easy fucking thing to remember, isn't it? Um, and she's apparently being bullied because her mom is the ghost house lady, and she walks into her dorm room and there's like a ghost effigy that's been rigged. Like you remember how you know those pranks where you'd like rig a bucket of water to fall on someone's head when they open the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this ghost was rigged up for, and it's rigged up for fucking to fall the second she opens the door, and it like smacks her in the face, and she's like ah, and the girls, because this is an all girls school apparently, I guess, I don't know. But there's like a gaggle of girls just standing outside of her fucking what's it called? Her dorm room. And they're just laughing cuz apparently they're the ones that did it. I guess. I don't know. The movie doesn't explain any fucking thing. It just kind of like jumps from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And then there was this. And then there was this. And it's like, dude, fucking stop. All right? The movie has ADHD. All right, continuing on. She gets convinced by her grandmother to come outside downstairs after her mother was calling and calling say like, hey, I'm here, come outside. Your grandfather died. We're gonna go to his funeral. Um, the grandmother, Kevin's mom, is out of the car screaming, Astrid, Astrid, your mommy just lost her daddy. And like every piece of dialogue in this movie is just so terrible. Like, it's like human beings don't talk like this, dude. Come on. Um so this is about the first hour in. All right? This all happens within the first hour of the movie. And as they're sitting in the car waiting for Astrid, to get ready to fuck off, and get in the car so everyone can leave, Lydia sees Beetlejuice again. And then we're brought into the underworld again, or the afterlife, or whatever the fuck it's called at this point. We're brought into the afterlife this time, and we meet William Dafoe's character, who was an actor, but now he's a cop. But he's not a cop, he's an actor. It's a really dumb thing. William Dafoe is the best part about this movie, by the way, as he is with every fucking movie. But he's telling Beetlejuice about the lady that escaped, quote unquote, but that is like asking where Beetlejuice is. And then he's all like, you just want to watch your back, blah, 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 this, that, the other thing, fine, whatever. And then we get another scene, and this is where my memory starts to blank, because, like, in the middle hour of the movie, basically nothing happens, aside from the, Astrid finding the attic, and the miniature scale town that's in the attic, because that's there apparently still, and never got moved or anything. And then she's like looking through and she finds pictures of her dad or whatever. Then there's the obligatory, hey, let's have a heart to heart between your mother and you. Lydia and Astrid have this fucking heart to heart about, dad, blah 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 blah, and she's still kind of a prick to Lydia, right? The girl, the teenage girl, is still kind of a prick to Lydia because you let dad die and you can't tell me about him and blah blah blah. And it's so fucking dumb. Sorry, I need to compose myself because I'm getting angry recalling this. Do you have any questions right now, Farty?
Gina Davis still in it though?
No.
Oh, well, fuck. There's no.
No. They explain in the movie, well, they found a loophole and they didn't have to haunt the house anymore and they were able to move on.
Well, that's fucking gay.
Yeah. Huh?
So basically what you're saying right in the middle of it, they should have kept Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin's character in there, at least just for someone to be shot in the middle for something to happen.
It would have been nice. They didn't even have to shoot anyone. They could have just like put a stand-in for Baldwin and just had this moment where the soul sucker lady just sucks his soul out and then sucks Gina Davis' soul out, and then that would have been fine, as opposed to just mentioning them. They give this really elaborate claymation cameo to fucking Charles, but they couldn't do shit for the Dietzes. God damn, I'm getting so angry. I'm already in a bad mood, and I'm getting angry just talking about this stupid movie. All right, collecting my thoughts here. So we get to a point where there's a mother-daughter moment between Astrid and Lydia, Then the Astrid kind of gets pissed and just kind of like storms off, whatever. She takes the photos of her dad, and then walks in to the attic the fucking the producer boyfriend, and he's all like, ooh, and he's trying to like talk her down from bullshit. Um, this is after, by the way, that I'm now remembering now. This is after, by the way, that he takes the opportunity to turn the funeral wake situation into an engagement party by like by trying to convince Lydia to marry her, or to marry him rather, marry her, goddamn, marry him on Halloween, which was like 2 days away. And Astrid fucks off on a bike because of it, and they're sitting in the attic at this point, and they're talking about how like, well, here's something that I went through as a kid, and I need to tell you about this demon named Beetle, that whatever, because Astrid saw on the ground, or on the model mini or whatever, I don't remember exactly where it was, but found a printout of like the Beetlejuice ad, and and saying people, hey, say the name, say the name, say the name, come, say my name so I can fucking, you know, come back to the real world, come to the world of the living or whatever. And she shows the producer boyfriend the ad, and she's like, you can't say his name, he'll show up. And so the producer boyfriend's like, you know what, you need to be exposed to this delusion, and I'm just gonna put you through hell. And he says the fucking name of the, he says Beetlejuice's name 3 times. He's like, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And then all of a sudden, they're transported to a couples therapy counseling session with Dr. Beetlejuice. And Beetlejuice, in his infinite power, makes, just by proxy, just by being in the room, makes Lydia have a Beetlejuice baby. And I'm not kidding when I say, like, you see her stomach swell up. Huh?
It sounds like a euphemism.
I'm going
to go and drop a Beetlejuice baby.
Yeah, it does sound like a euphemism, doesn't it? And when you put it that way. No, so he has this situation where they're in Beetlejuice's office, and he's a therapist, and he's sitting there, and he's like, you see, he like makes, he does that thing where like he makes Lydia's mouth all stitched up, and then you see her stomach inflate to the to 9 months worth of pregnancy, like in an instant, and then this baby just fucking pops out, and it's like just running around and then just being a total fucking prick. And the producer boyfriend passes out, and he's like, when the whole scene is over, he gets up from behind the the miniature of the town, and he's like, oh, I had the weirdest dream. And I'm just like, God, go fuck yourself. This is another instance, and I'm just going to put this out there right away. This is no different than Ghostbusters 2016, where all of the men in the fucking script are absolutely useless, they're absolutely brain dead, or they're absolutely just evil pieces of shit.
Oh, that's why they got the Shopping Winona Rider up part wrong. So you don't sew her mouth up to keep it quiet, you stick your dick in
there. Yeah. Anyway, it's no different than Ghostbusters 2016 in that regard, and it's fucking disgusting. So we cut back to Astrid, who was run off the road by a motorist, and she loses control of the bicycle she's riding, and it's like the same model bicycle that Lydia had in the first movie. So I don't know if it's an heirloom or what, but bikes, they hold pretty well together for, I've got a 45-year-old road bike that's in really good shape, even though, like, even though like you can tell it's aging, it's still in really good shape. But you got this scene where she like goes flying off the road. She goes through a fucking um she goes through a fence, a wooden picket fence, and it's like tall, and she goes tumbling into this fucking yard down a hill, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna die. She's gonna nope. She survived. She whacks her face on the side of a tree, and I'm like, how the fuck are you not dead from that? How are you walking away with a bruise? That's it. And there's like this dude sitting in the tree that like is like 16, 17 years old looking, and he like looks down the tree. He's like, hey, you okay? And he brings her inside, and he's like he brings her up to his room, and they talk about things, and she sees a copy of the handbook for the recently deceased amongst his stuff, and it's sitting on his desk, and she's all like, you don't believe in this stuff, do you? And he gives like this kind of non-committal answer of like, oh, well, it's possible, blah blah blah. And she's like, well, I only believe in the things I can see and touch. And yeah, so that was great. um so
How come
that's
he's
like,
got a book of the fucking handbook of the recently deceased?
say again.
How come he's got a copy of that book?
Oh, he tells her he found it at a flea market or something. I don't remember what it was, or a thrift store or something. But he had like a whole bunch of like old vinyls, and so like I'm already sus on this dude from the fucking word go. He's like, nothing fits right now because he's being all nice and shit, and like he's actually being a competent human being. And I'm like, okay, well, you've already portrayed every male in this movie to be a complete and total fucking retard, right? Or have ulterior motives. And now you get one decent one. Something's up with this character, right? Just on the writing. And we go back to the house after this scene where Astrid tells her mom about the boy, and they have like this date because she's gonna go over and hang out with him on Halloween, whatever. And in the meantime, we get like a whole bunch of just non sequitur stuff going on. We haven't seen fucking word one about the soul sucker lady in like 45 minutes. So all of a sudden, now we're going back to the underworld or the afterlife or whatever the fuck it is, and we're seeing a headless dude walking around, stumbling into a dry cleaner, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay, so now we're going to address Charles, who's just stumbling around the afterlife because, he has no head. And it's just so dumb. I don't even want to talk about it because it's nothing. But after he leaves the dry cleaner guy, he's like this Korean or some Chinese guy. I don't know. He's some sort of Asian guy with a really heavy accent. And he's going through the dry cleaner like, is someone there? And the soul sucker lady pops out and sucks this dude's soul out and asks him where Beetlejuice is. And
I'm used to people when they suck that dude's, and then something else is said after that.
Say again?
Never usually sold that.
You're used to what?
I'm used to people when they say when they say the word "suck that dude's," and it's usually something else, not soul.
Oh yeah. So, God,
it was getting interesting for a second there.
Oh my God. So, we're about a half hour in, and it's taken me, about 25 minutes to explain almost 2/3 of the movie now. Because we're about the halfway point when this happens. And then we don't see anything about fucking Charles again. We don't see anything about the fucking soul sucker lady again for like another, I don't know, I want to say another 45 minutes. And this movie's 3 hours long almost. It's like 2 hours, 45 minutes or some shit like that. It's 3 hours long. So, in the middle of the second act, we find out that the boy was a ghost the whole time. And he explains to her that he fell out of a tree and that there's a way to bring him back to life, but there's also a way, and that same way is also how she gets to see her dad again, because now apparently we're bringing her dad into the mix. And she goes, "Oh, okay, that sounds good. So, I'll go into the afterlife with you and we'll go see my dad, and I'll help you with your problem and you'll help me with mine." And she's thinking it's like some sort of thing, and they go into the waiting room after he brings her in. And it turns out that one of the incantation that he gets her to read after drawing the door on the thing and doing the knock 3 times from the first movie. She comes up, and it turns out that as this is happening, Lydia is on her way to that house because it turns out that the kid killed both of his parents, and when the police went to arrest him, he fell out of the tree and snapped his neck.
Okay.
So she's going to go rescue Astrid, and Astrid, by the time she gets there, has already finished walking through the door. And right then and there, she's like, oh, fuck. She goes back to the house. She goes and Beetlejuices. Gets Beetlejuice to blow a hole in the wall in the attic to go into the afterlife, whatever. And they both go in, and now she's in there without permission. So William Dafoe's character comes in again, and they're like, send out the ghouls and whatever, and fucking get her, arrest her, and kick her out of the afterlife because living beings aren't supposed to be there without permission apparently. So she gets kicked, or so she gets brought in with Beetlejuice, and then Beetlejuice drops a bomb. Beetlejuice drops a bomb on her that he'll help her if they get married, and she's like, "Fine, I'll marry you. Just save my daughter." And then there's this whole big fucking, for like 45 minutes. There's this big fucking oh god damn, I'm trying to remember what his name is. There's this Benny Hill fucking chase sequence going on. Everyone's chasing everyone else in the afterlife. While they're doing that, hang on a second. While they're doing that, fucking what's her name has like a pair of vipers, whatever she bought, that were supposed to have been defanged, but they weren't. So she didn't know that they weren't defanged, and she's having like this ceremony or whatever to celebrate, fucking Charles's life or whatever in the graveyard. So she's sitting there with like this wicker basket with these fucking vipers in it, and she pulls them out of the thing, and she's like yapping, blah 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 blah, and she's recording herself apparently to do some art piece bullshit. And the vipers bite her, and she dies, and she ends up in the waiting room. She's like, "I'm not supposed to be here," and she's throwing a fucking shit fit. Beetlejuice and Lydia get separated. Lydia finds, not Lydia, fucking Astrid's dad sees her at this like train station type deal, where the murderer boy tells her that, "Oh yeah, that incantation you just that incantation you just used, that was a promise to give me your life in exchange for me getting going back to the land of the living again." Because apparently he'd been stuck at that tree, that house, for like 20 years, and the farthest he could go was the tree. So his death takes place 10 years after the events of the first movie. Um, and then he's all happy-go-lucky that he gets to fucking walk away scot-free, but, you know, spoiler alert, he doesn't, because Astrid, um, the transfer of the soul or the life or whatever, however it worked, wasn't final until Astrid got on the train. And I kid you not when I tell you they called it the Soul Train. And they do the Soul Train gag twice in this movie within an hour span. So we're in the last hour of the movie now, right? Astrid and Beetlejuice and Lydia, and now the recently deceased uh, Kevin's mom are all now reunited in a church because Astrid's dad took Astrid and Lydia up to a crypt that was in the graveyard adjacent to the church where Lydia was supposed to get married to the producer boyfriend fiance who at this point we haven't seen much of until this moment. It's just if this movie sounds like a mess, it's because it was. And Beetlejuice is in this big hurry to get Lydia up to the fucking up to the pulpit to marry her. He like all the influencers that the producer, boyfriend, whatever called to like come and watch the wedding. Beetlejuice like has their phones suck them into it because they're all on their phone apparently. And like you see them like point the camera at themselves and then they get like these really weird facial expressions and they get zapped into their phones and then that's the last we see of them. After that, you see this cake or whatever get pushed, you know, rolled out and the lights go down and they, you know, that stupid that 70s disco song where they're talking about the cake melting in the rain.
No.
Oh god, I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Song used in Beetlejuice. Hang on, let me see. Nope.
I know if you take all the songs with the word heart in it, that you know, and change the word heart to bum, it's a very funny fucking little game.
Oh, for fuck's sake, we're not doing that.
The
We're not doing that.
good heart these days is hard to find. Listen to your heart
Yeah.
when it's calling for you.
Oh my god. I told you we're not doing that. MacArthur Park is the name of the song.
I'd have to hear it.
I think it's the dumbest scene. It's the most fucking. There's this push by Beetlejuice to get married to Lydia, and they stop for a whole 5 minutes to I'm just gonna send you the link because I don't want YouTube to be all like, oh, banned. So I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter, and then you can listen to it at your own discretion. There it is. You can listen to it, but it's this really like long 70s disco song about a wedding that just wasn't meant to happen, and there's the wedding cake that this lady had dreamed of forever during her wedding got left outside, and it started raining, and it just fucking washed away in the rain, basically. So what ends up happening is there's this big fucking 5-minute long musical number, maybe even longer, and it is so uncomfortable to watch. And Beetlejuice was supposed to be in a hurry to marry Lydia, to fucking null and void. But during the end of the song, his ex-wife shows up, and they start fighting each other. And then she dies again, and then he dies again, and everyone lives happily ever after. Except for, Kevin's mom. She goes to the afterlife, whatever, and there she's reunited with Charles, and they get on the Soul Train and they fuck off together. Questions? I left out a lot for the sake of time.
Why? Why the fuck did they do this? What was the point?
It was because, nostalgia. This movie was not good. It was not good. And so many people are praising it for being so good. Huh?
It didn't sound like it had much of a fucking point to it.
It didn't. No. They lose track of Beetlejuice's wife, like his original wife, during the entire movie. She's in like 5 scenes total, I think. The whole thing is just hey, do you remember the first movie? Do you remember the first movie? Well, you sure as remember the first movie, don't you?
Kind of sounds like one of those slice of life movies where nothing fucking actually happened.
Yeah, I know.
And this should have actually been like a, I don't know, like movie 43 style thing of vignettes with various different characters instead of one long fucking storyline.
Duster's in the chat. Of course this is when I'm at work. Yeah, I kind of figured you'd be at work. It was nostalgia bait, and he wants to know if this is a green screen behind me, Farty. Should I tell him the news?
Yeah, we moved into Pripyat.
This is not a green screen. All right? It is not a green screen. I just want you to know that. It is not a green screen. I can say that truthfully, that it is not a green screen. It's just fucking dumb. The entire movie's fucking dumb. If I had to give it a letter grading and account for current and here's the thing. When I sat down to see this in the theater, it is not a green room. It is absolutely not a green room. There is nothing green behind me other than the stuff on my chair. What's that?
The shit on the walls.
Yeah, well, the shit on the walls too. But there's like, here, hang on. Where's the fucking? There it is. It has these little pillows. My chair has these little pillows. Hang on. With green accents on them. Green accents. So it's not a green screen. It's not a green room. It's not a green anything. The green shit on the walls? No, that's actual shit on the walls. That's actual shit on the walls. This is the only place I can afford to live, Des. This is how I'm living these days. You like my bed? Farty likes my bed. If it's not green, then what is it? It's mold. Falcon's in the chat, Farty.
Yeah. Hey, fucking... Yeah. Oh, well, I sent you a reply.
Yeah, so this entire movie was just... It was dumb top to bottom. It was just dumb top... There was no reason There was no point for any of it. They told the story in the first movie, and then they had no ideas in this other than visual stuff. And fuck me, housing market crash can happen. Can't happen soon enough. No, it can't. This entire movie is just fuck's sake, dude. They didn't have any ideas other than visual ideas, right? They had like, oh hey, we got this one really cool scene that I want to film. We get this one really cool scene I want to film, and again, it's you could make a movie about. Hang on, I can't see that. Give me a second here. You can make a movie about the Afterlife DMV. You could. A lot of the ideas they had in this movie. Oh my god. Hang on. That's not supposed to be. There it is. Sounds like Hollywood gotta milk it for more. Yeah. They took a lot of the ideas from this movie from the animated series. Do you remember the animated series at all, Farty?
I remember it existed.
Okay, that's enough. That's good enough. They took a lot of ideas from the animated series, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, there was so much of this movie they could have cut and trimmed the runtime down, and it made it like an hour and a half long movie. Breaks over. Check you out later. All right, Dester. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Enjoy your have a great day. There's so much they could have just cut out and left out of the movie, and they could have hired someone who actually knows what the fuck they're doing. This movie was nothing but nostalgia bait. That's all it was, and it was tiring to watch. And going into it, there was the ads for everything that were playing before the movie. Because, you go to the theater, you sit down, you watch the upcoming attractions. And it was like 3 Christmas movies on there that were all like terrible looking. One of them was a Rock Christmas movie. Like, The Rock was in it. And apparently he's like an elf. And he's just The Rock. But with a big green tactical vest that says elf on it. And it's about Santa Claus, who gets apparently kidnapped. And it's J. Jonah Jameson who plays Santa Claus. Imagine his scrawny ass being Santa Claus, right? That was one of the ads. The acting and the dialogue and that was fucking terrible. There was an ad for Moana 2, and was another Dwayne Johnson movie. Because let's face it, it's just a Dwayne Johnson movie. That's the only notable actor in that movie. And then there was another Christmas movie in there, and then another Christmas movie, and everything was just so forgettable. Oh, and there was a 6.5 minute long Walmart ad where it's just kids teaching a 30-something-year-old bus driver terminology and slang that the children are using. And it's the cringiest shit there is. And then it's a fucking... After the first 20 seconds of the ad, it's nothing but a fucking dance reel. Like a fucking cheerleading dance reel. That just goes on and on and on. Huh?
That's whack, dude.
Oh. That's about the level of cringe that was. And I know you were doing it, for giggles, but that's about the level of cringe it was. It was
audacious, man.
Man, it was
totally wicked.
It was so dumb. It was so dumb. And it highlighted all of the problems in Hollywood. It highlighted all of the problems in filmmaking. It highlighted all of the problems in marketing. right? It highlighted all of these problems that everyone's just like, oh, we're just gonna, avoid it because, reasons. We're just gonna ignore it because reasons. It's like nobody has a fucking brain on this planet anymore. Which is a
So
great segue to our next topic. Do you remember what our next topic was, Farty?
so they fucked it up big time styly.
Oh my god.
Fucking.
Why is there no eject button on my chair? Why can't I hit a fucking button on my chair that will, like, launch me through the fucking ceiling? Punching out.
You have a couple of car fucking airbags, and you could probably do that.
Yeah, I did a thing did that.
Fucking. What was the other topics? Simpsons.
No, not that one. Should I bring up the document?
Yeah.
Oh, right. BioWare and Ubisoft. This is kind of two different topics, but I think we can roll it into one. Which one do you want to start with first?
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. All right. So, Ubisoft's done a bunch of bonehead moves in the last week. The last week and a half, actually. It's kind of been like 2 weeks going on. So the first one is Star Wars Outlaws has been an absolute shit show. Among the many issues this game had, it ran with de novo. Now, de novo is an anti-cheat software, or not anti-cheat. Sorry, it's a DRM software, and it's really good at what it does. It's really good at protecting the DRM, and protecting the assets of a game. And it does this by being so fucking terrible, nobody wants to reverse engineer it. It is so terrible that it literally destroys the game that it's coded into. So they code this DRM into this thing. DRM, digital rights management, is used, obviously we all know, to protect games and to protect those assets and to protect those IPs. So they use this DRM, and it's really good at what it does. But it also breaks and fucks every game up that it has. Now, the other problems that Star Wars has been having, thanks to Ubisoft, has been pricing issues, has been, what else, Farty? The save files, I think?
Well, I thought it was just the case that they were generally making just shit games all the time. And, basically, all this is pretty much par for the course for most gaming developers nowadays, and this is pretty much for Ubisoft. Oh, it's their week, it's their turn.
Yeah.
Next week will be fucking, Ocean or fucking. God, I can't fucking think of any bloody gaming developers at the moment. Yeah, next week will be another one, and then next week will be another one after that. And about 6 months' time, be Ubisoft's fucking turn again.
It just connected that you said Ocean, and I'm just like, oh god, the LJN of fucking the UK.
Well, yeah, so that's how fucking little I could think of, like, fucking Ocean, fucking Commodore 64.
There may as well be LJN and Ocean at this point. But yeah, there's been a lot of problems. But one of the things that's praiseworthy that Ubisoft has done, and I want to call attention to this first, is they did remove de novo from Star Wars Outlaws. That no one should ever be using de novo at all. It tanks your performance of the game that you're working on. So it already, oh my god, already. See how fucking tired I am, Farty? It already fucks your game, right? It already just says, we don't care about your hardware, we don't care about this, that, the other thing. We're going to actively tank the performance of this game on your machine by hogging as many resources as possible, and fuck you if you try to stop us.
I will give Ocean one thing, though. on the Commodore 64, they knew that it was so shit and it'd take so long to load it. They actually play like a full fucking song, like whilst it was loading.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty well done music too. It wasn't just chip
The
tune
Ocean
stuff.
Loader song, fucking, I really like that. Some people have done some fucking remakes of it too,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Kudos for Ocean for doing that. So I want to call out I want to call out and congratulate Ubisoft before we get into ripping them a new asshole. um, yeah. So de novo out of Star Wars Outlaws. But staying on the Star Wars Outlaws thing, they did do a patch update that that fucked up the save files for the for Star Wars Outlaws after it was released. I think it like went into full release this last week or something. And it came out of early access or whatever. And the devs are like, hey guys, we're sorry, but all your games are going to be deleted now. Have fun with that. And this was after patching all of the problems the game had itself with, you know, world models not loading in and people clipping through levels, and there were other levels of just really bad game design in there. And just signs and symptoms of rush it out the door, 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 bullshittery going on. Why does Ubisoft think they can keep getting away with this?
Because they know people will still just buy it. This is we're in this time of fucking history where you can have like a consistently shit product because fucking cunts will still buy it anyway. There's enough fucking suckers out there that'll keep doing it. Just look at YouTube, for example. Look at how they're trying to fuck everybody over, but like, look at how many people aren't running for other places.
Yeah.
So they don't get away with it. So
well,
fucking,
it's because hosting video is hard. Like, not the actual like hosting video, but making a platform that's profitable is hard. And YouTube struggles with it. YouTube's been struggling with it since day one. And that's not a defense of YouTube. And it's not a defense of YouTube because all of the bullshit they keep doing, they know they can get away with because they're the only game in town, essentially. Now,
yeah.
I would love to see Floatplane get to, that's Linus Media Group's version of YouTube. I would love to see their platform become a lot more successful. And when they do, I'm jumping ship. I'm done. I'm going to be done with YouTube. I'm tired of the ads. I'm tired of ads. I'm watching a 5-minute long video. I'm getting fucking 10 ads in that 5-minute long video. And they're all unskippable ads for politicians that I don't want to support.
Well, okay. Well, more to me point though. Like, what brought on the original games crash in the first place was exactly this. Like,
right.
Video gaming producers and all this kind of shit releasing games that were buggy, not finished, or in some cases not even on the disc. You know, or the tape, you brought a blank tape, and that was on purpose because they simply didn't give a fuck. What were you going to do? Chase them down for your $6.50? Fucking and that's what mainly did lead to the games crash, like the video games crash in the 80s, because there was so many shit out there, like, so much shit out there, and fucking no one fucking cared, and everyone was sort of like, oh, well, what's the point of buying this stuff, you know, fucking doesn't fucking work anymore.
Yeah, Falcon says...
Nintendo actually had the right idea by being bloody Nazis about it, because they basically had their point proven with the crash.
Right. Falcon says that it doesn't help that people expect incompetence. No, I
Yeah, and
suppose.
then
I
and then on
suppose
top
that's a
of
good
that,
point to make.
yeah, and then on top of that too, like when you do complain about some cunt being incompetent, no cunt fucking listens to you anyway, and that's where bloody people end up getting their heads kicked in.
Yeah, that's a really good point to make. If if people expect incompetence, and you go into something being incompetent, uh, you already know what you signed up for, and the company can wash their hands of it. And at a certain point, they act in a certain way, and it just goes to show that you'll still buy it. It's like when fuck, what's his name? Michael Bay was like, "Yeah, we're making another Transformers movie. Stay mad about it. You'll still go watch it." And he was
Mm.
absolutely right. He wasn't arrogant. I mean, okay, he was arrogant, but he was absolutely right. People still went and watched it. Did it lose
Yeah,
money compared to other Transformers movies? Yeah. But was it profitable? Oh, fuck yeah. It was fucking profitable out the ass. And that last one, Transformers Beast, Rise of the Beast, was fucking dumb. Oh, it was so fucking dumb. I'm not even going to talk about it. We're going to continue on. Sorry, Farty.
well, it is. Well, it is. It is a Michael Bay movie, and well, that's even where
He only
Hollywood's
produced it. He was only a
going.
money man on like every Michael Bay or every Transformers movie after the second one. He was just a money man on.
Yeah, but well, that's the same thing with Hollywood as well. Like they're just putting out shit after shit after shit because well, fuck, cunts will fucking pay to go see it.
As evidenced by Beetlejuice.
Yep.
You slap a name on it, people will go see it. Um, and I argue it's worse now because we rejected the really bad writing and the really bad acting of Answer the Call in 2016. And I'm still going to defend 2016 insofar as that Paul Feig didn't want to do the movie. He was approached several times to do a Ghostbusters movie. He didn't want to do it. He finally caved in because they just kept harassing him. And I maintain that he did to Ghostbusters what Sam Raimi did to Spider-Man 3 because of Sony executives. And you see this time and time again where Sony gets their hands onto something and they're so fucking particular. They need it to make money. They're fucking sticking their dick in the cookie jar and they're going, "Hey, oh, how's it going, buddy? Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that." I maintain that Spider-Man 3, the stuff, especially with Peter Parker being the emo when he got the fucking symbiote suit, when he got the symbiote attached to him, I maintain that that whole thing was a protest. I maintain that Answer the Call, Ghostbusters Answer the Call, was from start to finish a protest against the studio executives. That both movies have similar protest in them against the studio. He didn't want to do it. Ergo, he didn't listen to the advice of Dan Aykroyd and the advice of uh, Ivan Reitman, and he fucked the movie up on purpose. That's what I think. I think he should have done it the way Sam Raimi went about doing it, because at least Sam Raimi still has a job in like that. He's still notable, and I think we discussed this last week or a couple weeks ago, where Paul Feig he's kind of a nobody now. You haven't heard anything about him and anything like notable, and he's doing stuff for Blumhouse, and Blumhouse is where you go when your career is about to die.
I still say that no, that it was more a case of fucking he did that more on purpose, and like because even Dan Aykroyd at the end of it, like he sort of let slip that fucking that he'd spent too much money in this, that, the other thing, and yes, he won't be back on the set and all this kind of shit, and
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
But then there's also the fact that Sony too, like usually when they know something shit, they got to fucking do something stupid, like pretend that they're fucking getting threatened by North Korea and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and you have that movie, The Interview, was not that fucking good either. Like
it was
a
entertaining. The Interview was entertaining. The Interview was it wasn't funny, but it was entertaining. It was fairly well written. And the fact they didn't ask anyone to spend a fucking cent on it and just put it right on Netflix right away just to get it out the door, because what's his name was threatening a lawsuit. The
fucking Kim Jong-un's supposed to have been bloody threatening the fucking nuke Sony headquarters or something like that.
Yeah, he threatened it, but they didn't take it into they did. That wasn't a serious. That wasn't a threat they took seriously. No, what happened is what's his name? Seth Rogen was threatening to sue Sony if they didn't release the movie. And so Sony didn't want to risk the threat, so they just said, fine, we'll release it, but it's going to Netflix. Because he was going to sue Sony for breach of contract, apparently. The Interview was entertaining. Sorry, hang on, Falcon, I need to... The Interview was entertaining only because it was stupid. It was. And the movie knew it was stupid. Like, it was one of those, they knew what they were doing was dumb, and they went into it, and they were just like, fuck it. We're going to have fun with this.
Yeah, it's a turn your brain off movie, but they'd spent a shit ton of fucking money on it, and they knew that, oh, fuck, we spent too much money, we're not going to make any of this back. Cause controversy. Kim Jong-un's going to nuke us if we release the movie, so we can't let you see it, and all this kind of shit. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, we're actually going to let a limited release. And then fucking, yeah, then you could bloody see it, no worries. And when you did watch it, you were like, this is fucking crap.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And I
liked it too, but it wasn't like, for everything they were fucking painting it out to be, it was nothing fucking, nothing special.
Yeah, it is what it was. And that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing to point out.
No, that's my point though. Like it was absolutely nothing special. It was one of the most forgettable fucking movies that's ever been. And they fucking knew it before they released it. They're like, shit, we spent too much money. Fuck, this piece of shit ain't gonna make us any money back. Fuck, yeah.
They had two options: bury it and get sued by Seth Rogen, or release it when they knew they weren't gonna make any money off of it. So they could at least get residuals off of Netflix from it. God damn, it was really easy to make that leap from Ubisoft, wasn't it? As of speaking of, as of 9/13, now the stock price and the stock value could have been adjusted since then. I haven't looked since then. But as of 9/13, because of all the bullshit Ubisoft has been up to, as of 9/13, their share prices were less than $12. They're valued at less than $12 a share. And I wish I had some money. I would have bought like at least one share and just held on to it until they started doing better. And then made like $50 on it or something. I don't know.
Shit, you're optimistic.
Well, sometimes it's worth it.
I'm always pessimistic because at least when fucking the shit hits the fan, you're not disappointed.
Yeah, that's been my mindset largely. But hey, if I could make $50 off of something after waiting a few months, I'll do it. Ubisoft stock value. What is the stock value currently? Ubisoft Entertainment SA. It is at $12.60. So it's above $12 now.
350.
Huh?
350.
I need about tree fitty. Go away, Loch Ness Monster. New trailer for Assassin's Creed came out, and apparently it looks less Japanese than ever. It looks more Chinese than ever now. Maybe they're shifting focus after Wukong did so well.
I thought the black fella in it made it look more African than anything else.
Well, they were using contested historical data. And the contested historical data was Japan saying, listen, this guy, his name was Yasuke. He was not a samurai. He was, for all intents and purposes, a slave. And the slave was just kind of, a favorite. So he kind of got special treatment. And Ubisoft was like, in all their Frenchness, was just like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, he was the house.
Yeah, let's not say that, Farty. Let's keep it in our pants, all right? Yeah, so that's about it for Ubisoft. I don't think we have much to discuss on this. Ubisoft's been doing dumb shit lately. And it isn't as dumb as what Bioware is doing now. Bioware recently put out a statement that AI is at the core of their business model now. Now, personally, I'm okay with AI. I think it's a fun little toy to mess around with. I think once it starts to mature, it'll be a great tool. I think people are just going to have access to it, and it's going to be... This is what I don't like about AI. The only thing I don't like about AI is the fact that it is going to be... It's already started and there's no going back on this because it already happened. It is a great tool for companies to just get your data faster. They don't have to worry about data brokers anymore. They can skip the middleman, which, cool, whatever. But now now there's just going to be more people getting access to your personal data, whatever. I like AI, it's not really AI that we're talking about. It's really more generative machine learning. And I enjoy generative machine learning. No more water. I got to get some water soon here. Generative machine learning is fine in the context of like, hey, I want a picture of this thing. And I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I am making a game myself. I am working on a game. I am working on assets for this game. And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't need help with it. I do. I need a lot of help. But I'm only one person with zero reach. And with that zero reach, I need to leverage as many tools as possible to help me to get where I'm going. Yes, I can draw stuff, but it takes me forever to draw something. And when I have to draw something on command, I don't really do that well. I'm not like, I can't really go, okay, I need a picture of a block, but it's a Lego brick, and it's got to have, arms and legs and a penis coming out of its face. I can't just draw something like that on command. I have to, when I draw something, it has to just kind of flow out of my, out of my brain and onto the page. And I know that sounds dumb. I'm not a very, what's the fucking word I'm looking for? I'm not a very, disciplined artist. All right? So I can't just put my mind to a task and do the task. My mind has to wander because that's just what it does naturally. And so I need AI tools because I don't have help. I don't have someone who's disciplined to say, hey, maybe look at this, maybe look at that. I use it myself in my game, and I use it to come up with an idea, and then I will model based on that idea. I'll say, hey, I need a picture of this, that, and the other thing. And the generative model will just go, okay, here you go. Here's a picture of it. And then I'll go into Blender and I'll start blocking out the shape, and then I'll start refining the shape from there. It has been an incredibly helpful tool for me to just go into to a generative model and get the help I need. But you have this company who's now leaning on these generative machine learning machine generative learning models that don't really have, they have, let me rephrase. They have these entire staffing positions that they're going to eliminate as a cost-cutting measure to get rid of these people who do the concept drawing, who do the basic modeling, who do the rigging, and who do this and who do that. And now they're switching focus, and they're going to eliminate all these jobs because it'll be cheaper for them in the long run to make that money graph go up. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
I was going to say something about them fucking themselves out of a job, but you beat me to it.
Oh. Well, I'm sure there's more to talk about on this situation. They say it's at the core of their business model. So, you don't want to touch that topic? Because that's a topic on its own.
Oh, yeah, well, it's only computer generative learning, not so much proper AI. It's the AI when it starts getting fucking self-aware is when we got to really start to worry.
No, I'm not worried about that. I will praise that day. Fire will rain from the sky. Hallelujah.
Well, this is fucking sort of something that people have been talking about for over 100 years now, like even longer, where machines are going to take our jobs and all this kind of shit. Well, it kind of is a case now where, even the fucking truck drivers are going to start to bloody worry. So, how does this work as a business model when, still need people in the loop somewhere along the line?
Yeah. Well, because you're going to need programmers, and you're going to need riggers, and you're going to need modelers somewhere in-house to correct the hallucinations the machines are going to have. Because let's face it.
I'm wondering if it's going to get to a point where all the AIs are going to fucking confuse the shit out of each other, and then we just basically lose track of any facts or anything like that. I'm wondering if that's how we end our fucking our turn at this fucking existence, is that we end up fucking getting to a stage where we just dumb ourselves down to being fucking cavemen again because we've confused the fuck out of the AI, and now we don't know what color yellow is anymore.
We gaslit ourselves as a species by creating AI that gaslit us into accepting that this mouse is yellow. This is the color yellow. It's not a mouse. It's the color yellow.
Yeah.
It's not a computer mouse. It's the color yellow.
Can't figure out whether they're Arthur or fucking Martha, and all they have to do is look down.
Farty, here's one you might remember. Here's one you might love. This is a banana. Oh man, I love Red Dwarf.
You're a smoothie.
I'm a smoothie.
Yes, a very big one at that.
Oh man, I love Red Dwarf. Yeah, I think it's time we decompress, Farty. I think it's time we decompress. we had scheduled. I didn't know if we were going to get to it or not, but we did have this on the document, and I don't know if we're going to get. I didn't know if we were going to get into this or not, but we have 40 whole minutes to get into it. Farty, what was your favorite episode or episodes of The Simpsons, and can you tell me about them and why?
I can't remember exactly what episode there was, but there was a certain time, early 2000s, when Marge was actually getting to be a bit funny.
Yeah.
And like they're actually having some really decent racy jokes, and these were like the jokes that like the parents would get and they go straight over the kids' heads. And I think there was one where like someone had farted or something like that, and then Marge goes, "Oh, that's very uncivilized." Whoop, well, that shut me up.
Yeah, I remember that episode. Um, yeah, that was a great moment. I think my favorite moments come from the one there are two episodes that always stand out on my head from The Simpsons. The first one is in season 1. It's called The Crepes of Wrath, and it's the episode where Bart is like the episode opens, Homer is like falling, down the stairs or whatever because he like tripped on Bart's roller skate or skateboard or something, and he threw his back out again. And uh, principal comes to the house and he's like, "Yeah, maybe we should send Bart to a different country." And Homer was like, "Oh, gee, that would be terrible." Not. And they send his ass to fucking France.
Mm.
I like that episode a lot. I don't know why. Not a whole lot happens in the episode other than, you know, just Bart being in France and some Latvian boy or whatever being in Springville, but the boy that the Simpsons got was like trying to take pictures of a nuclear power plant that was apparently illegal, and I don't understand the whole thing behind the illegality of it.
Oh, that's an old sort of it's quite outdated, an outdated notion now. But like that was back in the days where you had to physically go and photograph something. You couldn't just look it up on fucking like Google Maps or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like taking photos of sensitive installations like power stations or military bases. They'll even still do this sometimes. You go out the front of a military base and start taking photos, someone will come out and tell you to piss off.
Oh yeah. Especially here in the States. I remember
yeah.
we were at this is funny. This brings me to a funny story. We were at a Navy Army game. They're playing Navy and Army, the US military. They do these like inner branch skirmishes.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun to watch. They're just having a grand old time. Like, it was great. So we're sitting there. We're at Stony Point, and we're at one of the fields. It's Army Navy game. They're playing their fucking hearts out. And when you go up to the ballpark, it was a baseball game. When you go up to the ballpark, when you go up to the field, there's a big sign that says no recording or flash photography. And even though it's like a military training town, right? Like you see these signs everywhere because military training, that's where all these kids go to fucking learn how to be soldiers, and there's even like kids who don't, want to be soldiers, but they go through ROTC programs just, because their parents sent them there or, other things. And you see these signs all over the fucking place. You go into town and like you go into a McDonald's and there's like a big sign, no filming or photography. It's great. It's lovely. And it's not the whole town is a base. The whole town isn't a military installation, but it's so adjacent that may as well, right? Why not?
Well, you can still garner information about the people who are, on the base.
Oh, yeah.
Certain uniforms determine certain units, and
Yeah, what is it?
You get
Social
your
engineering?
numbers, you get numbers and troop strengths and things of that nature, and
Yeah. But yeah, it's still a trip to see. Like if you've never been to a military town, and I say military town because it's a town that has a military base or some sort of military training installation, or even just an occupied town. It's really fucking interesting. From that standpoint. Um,
hmm,
but there's that one episode. The Crepes of Wrath is one episode, and then I say my favorite episode. There's two of them tied for favorite, and it's Home R, where they find out that Homer has a crayon in his brain, and he goes to get it removed, and that's in season
yeah,
9. And then in season 7, there's King Size Homer, where Homer just like uh gains like 300 pounds to go on disability.
yeah.
Those are my favorites. I don't know what to say about them.
Here's the grapes, and here's the wrath.
The book diorama report thing,
Yeah.
and Bart sabotages Lisa's what's it called, her diorama,
Well,
by
yeah,
putting a cow heart in a shoebox.
funny you bring up bloody Lisa because, like, well, fucking, you wanted to talk about the favorite episodes. Well, basically every fucking episode that I hate's got is a Lisa episode.
Oh Christ, yes. Even the first episode that was all about her. What was it called? Moaning Lisa. And it's just
Yeah,
her about being depressed. I'm like, dude, I'm already fucking depressed. I don't want to watch an episode of fucking everyone just fine, whatever. I don't care. I don't care.
now my hatred's more the preachy fucking bullshit hippie environmentalist fucking nonsense.
Yeah, that
'Cause it's
definitely is a pain in the ass. I could go on and on about fucking Lisa's bullshit. There was an episode, I don't remember if I talked about this last week or not. There was an episode of The Simpsons. I don't remember if it's in the post season 30 seasons, but there was an episode where a whale washes up on Springfield Beach, and they're they're desperate to get it out to sea. So, instead of calling in a fucking crane or something to help and to fucking move it out to sea so that I could fucking, stay hydrated and eat and shit. Uh the whole town just sits there and stares at it until the fucking thing dies. And Lisa's trying to spearhead this operation to fucking get the whale back out to sea. Did they ever stop to think of maybe, fucking digging a hole around the whale to maybe help water get in so it could fucking at least stay hydrated? And not dry out and fucking die? And they could have just fucking fed it buckets of fish?
But you see, they're the environmentalists. They know more about it than you. How dare you open your mouth and criticize them?
Yeah, and then didn't they ever think to fucking get some straps and some fucking there's a fucking tug out in the middle of the fucking nope, no, you didn't think to get a tug? Okay. A tug would have fucking yanked that whale out to sea.
Oh no, you see, they couldn't do that either because they're all environmentalists and they don't drive cars, so none of them would have had a fucking big SUV and tow ropes and shit like that. Because they also don't go out in the bush with four-wheel drives because the four-wheel drives hurt the bush and shit and not keep fire trails open and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense when you talk about it that way. Or a crane. You could have fucking easily have gotten a fucking Caterpillar out there with a fucking...
Big diesel engine. No.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
You want to give the whale cancer with the fumes from the diesel engine.
Oh, okay. So, that episode pisses me off. And then the fucking whale dies at the end of the fucking episode. Big fucking surprise, because everyone's just standing there like slack-jawed fucking idiots. And the whole fucking time, they're not doing anything. They're just talking about, oh, well, be prepared for the worst to happen.
Yeah.
How hard was it to fucking get a tugboat to fucking pull the whale out to sea?
No, it's all the activist fucking bullshit they get her to fucking do, and it's all bloody tone deaf nonsense because it's all fucking wrong. You know, bloody have her running around, you know, oh, the sky's falling because it's hip to fucking talk about the environment and all this kind of bloody shit. And it's like, no, this is kind of one of those things where art imitates real life, and you don't know which one came first. It's sort of kind of like fucking, which one came first? Was it the TV series Veep or was it Kamala Harris? Did they preempt what fucking Kamala Harris was going to be like, or did Kamala Harris use the TV show Veep as fucking work experience? You know, it's kind of like that where fucking, you know, but he did fucking Greta Thundercunt fucking style herself after Lisa Simpson, or did the Simpsons just predict Greta Thundercunt with Lisa?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, well, you know, you could say it that way. I mean, like, after all, the Simpsons have predicted fucking everything bloody that Nostradamus bloody missed, you know. And, well, fuck, you know, I'm saying, yeah, Lisa Simpson is a prediction of fucking Greta Thundercunt.
Yeah. It's just, and then they fucking blow up the whale because, you know, why not? And everyone's having a big fucking party, setting fucking explosives off inside this thing and around this thing. And then Lisa's sitting there having a fucking meltdown because they're blowing the whale up. Well, yeah, Lisa, you're the one who told them they couldn't do all this shit to get the whale out to sea because you might hurt the whale. Okay, well, an injured whale would be preferable to a dead whale stinking up the beach, wouldn't it?
But he, what was another one that she fucking did, which was bloody annoying?
God, name an episode. Mr. Lisa Goes to Washington, where she writes that paper for Reader's Digest about how great the country is, and then she sees, then they get the trip to to Washington, D.C., where they get to, like, present their paper again in front of, like, all the politicians and shit. And then she sees the one politician accepting a bribe to fucking clear cut Springfield Forest. And she's like, oh, you know, I saw my senator, you know, accept money, and DC is a swamp and America sucks. I think that was like season 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
Fucking, the earlier seasons were a hell of a lot better. The writers weren't fucking trying to bloody suck up to fucking all the woke guns. Because it used to be a thing where, like, they'd blow the whale up just to fucking piss the environmentalists off.
Yeah. That episode pissed me off a lot. Any episode that features, like, an animal in a really depressing situation kind of pisses me off. Like the episode with of Futurama, Jurassic Bark. You might remember this one, Farty. It's the episode where Fry, like, finds his dog in a museum, and his dog's been, like, petrified or some shit.
And then they had to do the fucking the bit at the end where, like, you got to see how the dog fucking, you know, what happened to the dog after fucking Fry got fucking frozen, and that's like the most depressing fucking thing ever.
Anytime, like, I have the entirety of Futurama on my hard drive, and I have the DVD collection from the first 5 seasons.
I refuse to ever watch that episode again because it upset me that much the first time.
Yeah, I will never watch it. Whenever I see it, I skip it, or I will shut off the TV. It is not. That is the only episode I have deleted from my hard drive because I don't want to sit through it again.
Yeah, it's the bit at the end.
Yeah, especially the bit at the end. Like the entire episode just kind of blows because they don't really do anything with the episode. Everyone's just standing around talking about, this, that, and the other thing. And the writing in that episode was so fucking dumb. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So the episode as a whole pisses me off because it's just a bad episode. And then at the very end, not only am I pissed off, but now I'm depressed. And thank you for that. Because Fry's under the assumption he had a good life after he left. No, we gotta subvert this audience's expectations and just shit down your fucking throat.
Yeah. And really fucking linger on it too.
Oh yeah. And they play that sad fucking music. No. Fuck you. I want a refund.
Yeah. It makes me want to find the writer of that episode and make them fucking hurt as much as I did when I watched it. It's like, you fucking bastard, that was not nice here.
I just want to kneecap them. I want to kneecap all the writers responsible for that. I want to kneecap all of the animators responsible for that. I want to kneecap the fucking the studio that they outsourced for the not the key animation, but for the rest of the animation for that. I want to fucking kneecap the voice artists who recorded the episode, right? I want to fucking kneecap everyone involved in that episode because of how, just how dumb it was and how depressing it was at the end.
Oh, speaking of that, I used to have the porno that Katie Seagal was in.
Say again?
I used to have the porno that Katie Seagal was in.
Oh, I did not want to or need to know she was in a porno.
Oh, yeah.
I did not... Oh, shit, that's too loud. Sorry, guys. Hang on. I did not need to know she was in a porno. I did not want to know. Thank you, Farty, for fucking my day up.
See, that was one of those ones back in the fucking 80s and shit like that. Was one of the holy grails, like, the video Faces of Death or fucking... Was it Nasty Bangkok or whatever the fucking thing was called. And, like, lots of people hear of it, lots of people talk about it, but you rarely ever saw it, if ever. And fucking, absolutely, that was true. Had a copy of it.
Wow. Farty, I hate to say this, but I kind of want you to go to hell right now. You ruined an already bad day. How do you do that?
Oh, quite easily. I got a lot of shit to share.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, God damn my microphone! I'm done with this shit. I'm done with Windows. I swear to God, if I could switch over to fucking Linux, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Fucking yeah. What was another good Simpsons episode?
God. We have more to talk about on bad episodes, don't we?
Yeah. See, well, that's the thing now, right? They were all right back in the day.
Yeah.
Like the first lot of seasons and all that kind of shit. But, then we got Beavis and Butthead and Family Guy and fucking a whole bunch of other shit. And sort of, I remember back when The Simpsons first come out and they're like, oh, it's going to fucking mess with kids' heads and they're going to be all fucking running around with tin pots on their heads and fucking, wooden fucking fence post swords and fucking all sorts of bloody shit and getting in all sorts of trouble because fucking Bart's a bad influence and all this kind of stuff. And then they said the same thing about Beavis and Butthead, and then you go back now and they didn't even swear, like the worst thing to do is your dillweed or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you find out off Mike Judge that, like, he had to actually fucking make them say the fucking like dillweed and the stuff that sounded like a swear word but wasn't because he couldn't get away with swearing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and
and
it's
fucking
dumb. It's dumb how they treated Mike Judge too.
yeah.
Like,
But then you get the Family Guy and you got fucking Stewie calling his mum a fucking insolent bitch.
yeah.
You know, sort of, and that does really make fucking Simpsons look really bloody tame in comparison nowadays.
Oh, dude, the real life makes The Simpsons look tame in comparison. Like, if you go back and watch original, like, you go back and watch the original episodes, you know, like the first 5 seasons, we'll say, because I don't want to go too, you know, I don't want to go include too many sources, but you go back to the first 5 seasons, and that's still a lot of episodes to draw from. You go back to the first 5 seasons, and you look at the way the Simpsons like interact with each other as a family unit. Remember the episode in season 1 where Homer bought an RV and they all went camping, but the RV gets like swallowed up in a river or some shit, and the family's kind of left to fucking fend on their, you know, fend for themselves. The baby goes missing and adopted by some bears until the bears like find a human family and drop the, you know, the baby off, and then you get fucking Bart and Homer. They're fucking lost in the woods and naked and starving and cold until they find a fucking fucking rabbit, and they launch the rabbit into the stratosphere with that fucking trap. And then you get Lisa and Marge, who are sitting there, you know, like, oh, your father's an experienced woodman, you know, Maggie will be fine with them, and this, that, and the other thing. And then it turns out that, you know, Homer covers himself in fucking mud and bushes and shit. And, you know, they think he's Bigfoot or something. And Marge gets famous now because everyone thinks she's fucking a fucking, some sort of cryptid. But, like...
Chucking a Leah Thomas.
Huh?
Chucking a Leah Thomas. Most movies that she's in, she's doing something weird sexually. Like,
okay, yeah, I'm like...
Duck. She's trying to fuck a duck.
No.
They think Marge Simpson's Leah Thompson. She's trying to fuck Bigfoot.
No. You're thinking about Gina Davis trying to catch the brain cell at the Emmys.
Well, she was fucking a fly.
What's that?
Well, she was fucking a fly.
Oh my god, she did, didn't she?
Yeah.
Fucking, what's his name?
Jeff Goldblum.
Goldblum, yeah. Oh man, that was a great movie.
Is it me or does sometimes Jeff Goldblum look like a fucking Thunderbirds puppet?
He does, doesn't he? Oh my god. Why? Why did you put that image into my head?
I don't know. I always see, like, you know, sometimes he, you know, fucking got sort of facial hair in a certain way, and he's got big fat fucking lips and looks like a fucking Thunderbird puppet.
What happened to him? Because now he's a germaphobe to, like, the highest caliber. Like, I'm convinced he takes baths in Nair just to get rid of all his body hair so he has, like, less germs to deal with.
So I think that might be flashbacks of fucking Earth Girls Are Easy.
You think so? Oh, God, that movie was terrible. Well, who was that? That was Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, and who... Oh, God, who was the other guy?
Gina and Humphrey Wayne.
Was it?
Marlon Wayne. It was one of the Wayans brothers.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think it might have been Marlon.
It might have been. You know what? Hang on. Let me look it up. Marlon Wayans. Earth Girls Are Easy. Tony Garrett, Duncan Henderson, Terrence McNally produced it. Stars Gina Davis, Julie Brown, Charles Rocket, Jeff Goldblum, Damon Wayne, and Jim Carrey. It's Damon.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. There you have it. Yeah. Oh god, that movie. That movie was almost as big as a fucking train wreck as what the fuck was it called? Love Bites. You remember that one with fucking Adam Ant in it? There's like this one scene in it that I remember perfectly, and they're talking about like having sex for the first time because she falls in love with this vampire that's Adam Ant, and she's all like, "Ooh, I'm kind of afraid your dick's gonna be cold." Is basically what the line implies, and I'm just like, God. That's it. We're gonna do a watch party one of these days for fucking Love Bites. What do you think we should do that, Farty?
Yeah.
Don't me. Tell me when you want to do it.
Oh, I don't know. I'm easy.
You're easy. Just like those fucking Earth girls.
And I'm a blonde. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh Christ, I forgot that song was in there. Oh my god. You fucking suck. Oh my god. Alright. Well, I guess that's all we got for today. We'll be back Saturday with our news and politics bullshit. So if you want to hang out for that, Saturday morning will be the time for that. Saturday night if you're living in Australia like Farty. So yeah. Anything you want to add, Farty?
Yeah.
Boobies. Alright guys. Take it easy. Bye.